Okay, fine. Anyway, the room is full. We got around 25 members. We cannot accommodate more than that. Now we can just continue, get into the session now. Fine. Any questions on previous two sessions? Last session we discussed these few points about users in Fusion applications and RBAC security model. You can call it as security model in Fusion that can be managed by RBAC role-based access control. And we talked about enterprise structure, how the enterprise structure uh, can be managed in our Fusion applications. The same we compared with R12 multi-org. Apart from that, we discussed a Fusion org structure. I guess these are the points we discussed. I think these are from previous or prior session. Whatever. Any questions on previous two sessions?
Yeah, one question, Laxman. Laxman, this is Arun.
Yep.
What is a direct role and what is an indirect role?
I'll explain you and I'm going to show you how to create the custom roles. A simple point. So I'll give you a simple example. Role is equal to responsibility, right? Of course, exactly data role. In EBS, if you assign system administrator responsibility to your user, do you think some other responsibility also will be added to user? Question to Arun.
No.
Yes. Answer is yes. The responsibility is
So I didn't.
application diagnostics, right?
Oh yeah.
Generally,
Yeah.
we
Yes.
we see that. Of course, we may not remember that point as it is adding, but in the general process, we assign it will be adding. So
Yeah.
I request you when I am answering after your question, my request is you can mute. I'll be explaining. You can stop me in between, or else you can just come back to me with some cross question or any for clarification after my answer, please. Okay. So when you assign the system administrator responsibility to any user, automatically system will assign application diagnostics. Now, system administrator responsibility you can call as direct responsibility, and application diagnostics responsibility you call as indirect. In the same way here also the same function. So which role, okay, for which role, which other role can support that you can treat as a indirect. You will see that I'll just explain you when we are working on custom roles definition. For now we don't need to understand anything. Okay. That's a simple example to understand EBS point of view. The same we'll see in the fusion also. Hope it is clear, Arun, right?
But there is these roles that get created when you create the operating unit. Those are also, like for instance, this payables manager ABC US business unit. This role is also an indirect role, isn't it?
No. Those are just data roles we call. Whatever role we have, that is the seeded which Oracle is providing. What system will create on top of it, that we call as data roles. We'll discuss
No,
it.
data role is there.
No. See, Arun, one point here. We will see that when you are working on it. I'll give you the clear understanding what exactly you are expecting. Okay. Now the point is, if you understand, we have four type of roles, how we can correlate with the EBS and what exactly meaning of that. If you understand, that's enough. There are few points to understand. We call as application roles, enterprise roles, and so on. So we call. If I start explaining now, it will be a bit confusion. At the same time, whatever you have queries when you are directly working on that, I'll explain you. You can see that different naming conventions based on the application. These roles only as per APM we call in the different way, IDM we call in the different way, in other aspects we call in the different way. Those all I'll explain, then you can understand. For now, for simple answer for your question is, whatever the example I give in EBS, that's how the similar concept will be applicable in Fusion also. But if something is there, it's just stopping you to understand, okay, proceed and you can ask me, we'll discuss now, no issues. Yeah. Arun, please.
No, that's fine. I mean, I saw this role classification which had direct and indirect role for whether it is a job role or a data role, irrespective.
Yeah. See,
So that's why I was just referring to it.
yes. So to see what are those points, that's the right time to discuss so that I can show you in the system also. So now just these four you have to understand. That's what I said. You are talking about indirect and direct role. So apart from that, we have many other points, but this is not the time to discuss. Okay, I should
Okay,
not.
no problem.
Okay, again, for this different classifications we have, we call few roles as application roles. We call few roles are enterprise roles. Okay, so that's how we have a classification. That everything I'll be explaining once we start working on the relevant concepts. Okay, in this stage, this information is enough. Okay, let's go in that way. Fine. I'll answer to all your questions. Any question I'll answer for sure. Fine. So done. In the last session, this is what we did. We discussed about this RBAC, role-based access control. There we discussed about we have a job duty, abstract and data roles, right? Data roles that we did just compared with EBS and we discussed. And user point of view, we have two type of users, implementation and employee user. The points which we discussed are it's a implementation user we create from IDM, and employee user we create from HCM. And when you are going to create the user, implementation user in the system, to give the complete privileges to that user, we have to assign these seeded roles: application implementation consultant, IT security manager. Other role is employee. If you have any questions on this, please. Any questions on yesterday or previous session? Any relevant questions?
Yeah, Laxman, there is a question.
Please.
Yeah, see, if I'm creating one invoice in cloud on-premises environment, and I want to migrate the data to the public cloud environment. So, is online transactions, so how the system will get integrated?
You want to move from one system to one instance to another instance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that we can do. Cloning concept we have, right? In EBS, same is possible in Fusion also.
Cloning, is it?
Yeah, cloning. That will be done by Oracle only in the cloud environment.
And again, one more question. Yeah, see, now in Oracle we have interfaces like third-party system here.
Yes, Sangeeta, just one point. I'm sorry to say this. I can hear a lot of noise from your side, the background noise. If you are interested to ask the questions, we don't expect that noise. The fan is running or some other different noise are coming up. Yep. So, yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, you can ask me the question. No issues. For next time onwards, you may just concern these points, please. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, please.
In the Oracle application, we are uploading data like from legacy system to our Oracle application through interface or conversions. So how we are migrating? Like there is one concept that
I got it. Today I'm going to explain that. I'm going to light on that concept also today.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Fine. Any other questions before we start with your today's session? Any questions on previous sessions or very generic questions you have? First we'll clear those, then we can get into today's session. That is a plan. Okay. Fine. No questions. Done. Good. So this is the agenda we have for today's session. First we talk about functional setup manager. Okay. The next point is rapid implementation. What is the meaning of rapid implementation in Fusion application? how far this rapid implementation approach will help the consultants to complete the implementation and fast track. We'll discuss about it. And data conversion in Fusion applications. We know how the data conversion we do in EBS. When it comes to Fusion, what is the strategy, what is the process we follow, those points we'll be discussing in today's session. So after completing this, okay, if you have some other points, just we can discuss. Okay, fine. Done. The first topic here is functional setup manager, FSM. Just we call it as FSM. So we know in the EBS how we do the setups. How to do the setups in EBS. It's a very simple process. If you want to do the setups for payables, we'll go to the payables responsibility and we'll do the payable setups. And if I want to do the transactions, if I want to enter the transactions from same payables responsibility, we can do if that responsibility is super user responsibility. That means in the same way, the same logic is applicable for receivables also. To do receivable setups, to perform the receivable setups or to work on receivables related process, you can go to receivable super user. That means what are the menu, the seeded menu Oracle is providing, the seeded menu will give the provision to us to create the transactions at the same time configuration also. So that's how we have. That means from the same responsibility, okay, consultant or user can do the setups as well as they can do the transaction related process. But in the Fusion, that they completely decentralized. If you want to do any setups, that you have to do through functional setup manager. If you remember, of course we know that in EBS we have one concept called as accounting setup manager. Anyone can answer to this question? What is the use of accounting setup manager, ASM? It's not a great question, but just to get some keep some interaction, I'm asking this question. Who doesn't have any background noise, they can answer to this question. What is the use of accounting setup manager in EBS?
I think it is to configure the legal entity.
Yes, configuration, correct. When you talk about functional accounting setup manager in EBS, it allows us to do certain configuration. What sort of configurations we can do? We can create our primary ledger, we can create our secondary ledger, reporting ledger, and as you said, legal entities, and we can set some ledger specific configurations also. All we can do, of course, from accounting setup manager, we have a user interface which will connect with the organization definition form. From through that connectivity, through that interface, we'll be able to create business groups and rest of definitions also. Okay, so that's how we can perform all the setups from one place. In R12, I'm referring when I say EBS, 11i we don't have that functionality, we know very well. There we have a setup books concept. There is no centralized place to create different. So, but now from R12 we have a accounting setup manager, ASM. In accounting setup manager, you can do these all configurations. But ASM is limited. It's very limited. You can hardly create the enterprise related setups only. I mean to say multi-org related. So primary or reporting or secondary or few other setups you can perform from accounting setup manager. Similar to accounting setup manager, we have functional setup manager. There we are calling as accounting setup manager. Accounting setup manager. That means we can do the setups related to only accounting aspects. That means ledger related. But here it's not like just for accounting, it is a functional setup manager. Functional means particular any function which is a part of business. For any function, I can say here any application related. The functions always will refer applications. The name here you can see functional setup manager. To work on any functions in the system environment, okay, that relevant configuration you can do from functional setup manager. in accounting setup manager ASM we have a limitation, we can do only ledger specific configuration, but in the fusion we have a application, you can treat as application called as functional setup manager. Through functional setup manager you can do any application related configuration, any application related configuration. Okay, we'll get into more detailed information on this, and before we get into that, let's talk about few terminologies which we have to understand, how the what terminology they given for the respective uh, applications or product families. We'll talk on that. So say when you talk about financials, say I call it as financial applications, or just let me write it as just financials. These are applications only. The same way we have SCM applications, we have a projects, right? We have CRM. So when you say financials, SCM, projects, and CRM, when you look at these applications, these we are grouping. When you say financials, some set of applications which will support specific primary business process, right? When you say financials, there is primary business process which can be handled, which is related to financials, and SM related business process can be handled by SM applications, and the project suite will support all project related engagement activities, and CRM, customer relationship management related, all the primary business process can be handled by the solution called as CRM. That, in other words, you can say these are nothing but product families. So financials and SCM, project, CRM all comes under product families, as we know. Okay, but the same classification what we have in EBS as financials, SCM, projects, CRM, in Fusion, okay, the naming convention is, we call all these as a offerings. Financials we call as offering. Financials we call as one of the offering. In the same way, SCM also we call as offering. Projects also we call as offering. CRM also we call as offering. Okay. Financials, okay, we are calling as financials is one of the offering we are calling as per functional setup manager. As per functional setup manager, this is how we'll be referring. Okay, each primary business process or each product family, the naming convention they given as an offering. Okay, good. So financials we are calling as offering. When you take example of financials, within the financials we have a different applications, right? Seems to somebody unmuted. Please, thank you. So when you take financials is one of the offering as per functional setup manager in Fusion applications. If you take financial offering, within the financial offering we have a different applications. Say we have a GL, we have AP, say here no AP, and here CM, FA. Oh, of course these are the primary applications. We have some other applications also which falls into financials. We don't require, but just for our understanding these are enough. So financials we are calling as offering. Within the financial, these all are the modules or say applications. So when we are calling financials as a offering, so within the offering, okay, within the offering, what are the applications or modules we have? Those we call as options. Notice this terminology. GL is one of the option within the financials offering, and AP also one option. Okay, AR, CM, and FA. So these are the terms we should remember when we are. This is how we have to refer with respect to functional setup manager when we are dealing with our applications. So offering is nothing but specific product family or say primary business process we call as offering. Within that, what are the applications we have? Those we call as options. Okay, within that application, every applications we have a futures. The futures here you can refer as a, okay, like functions. Same, it's like as EBS, here also we call as functions. Okay, the function will have certain privilege, but the function and all we don't understand that, more we don't use here. Generally we see how it works, but simple terms you should remember. The specific business process we call as offering. Within that offering, what are the modules we have, we call as options. If we take example of SCM, okay, SCM offering, we can find the options called as purchasing, inventory, order management. This all comes under SCM offering. So this is how we have to understand. Okay, fine. So we have offerings and options. In Fusion, if you are going to do any implementation, we have to create implementation project. What we have to do? First, we have to create the implementation project. What is the meaning of creating implementation project? If you take any traditional implementation process, I mean to say here, let's say like EBS implementation. Say we are going to do the implementation for one of our client. In that case, how we will be managing that implementation information? Say we have a 10 resource for the project, and we have certain deadlines to complete the task, and we have a manager, and there are very specific responsibilities for each and every resource to execute the work. In that case, so where you are going to maintain all this information, say what task we have to deliver as a part of the project, how many resource we have, which resource is responsible for what activity, and what is the progress of the specific resource work, whether the consultant completed his work or else not started or in progress, and what is the overall progress of the project. All the information where we can capture when you are working on EBS project. Anyone can answer who doesn't have background noise. Okay, when we are doing the implementation project, of course, as a consultant, we may not capture. As a manager or some lead, somebody will take the responsibility of just monitoring the project, means they'll be tracking the status of the project, and they'll be taking all the updates. Where this sort of information can be maintained? I mean to say, what is the scope of the project? Which resource is working for which modules? And whether the work is completed or not, and how much percentage of the project tasks are completed. All this sort of information where we can manage.
In FSM?
I'm not talking about Fusion.
Oh, okay.
My question is in case of EBS implementation.
You cannot do it in EBS itself. It has to be done outside of EBS.
Exactly. That's it.
MS project or something.
Yeah. That is the point I need. Okay. So it's very simple. You cannot manage that sort of information. Okay. What is the scope of your project? Somewhere you cannot go and write, okay, this is my scope of the project. This is the actual project name. And these many resources are going to work. And this is the current status of my project. We have completed 70% or 80% of our entire project related activities. Still 20% is pending. These many configurations or activities are pending. These are not yet started. These are the configurations or activities in the risk. And you cannot generate any report from your system which gives the information like what is the current progress, and where you can report that same report information to someone whom you have to report. So this sort of environment we don't have in system in case of EBS, but in the Fusion we have that environment through function setup manager. Okay, through function setup manager, what we can do is, based on the scope of the project, based on the scope which modules you are going to implement, you can create the implementation project. What we have to do? We can create the implementation project. And before that, when you start working with the function setup manager and the fresh environment, what we have to do is, the first point we have to, so say like we are going to implement financials and SCM and projects. Generally in Fusion, the projects we call as PPM. Okay, we call as that offering as a PPM. PPM stands for Project Portfolio Management. Okay, PPM, CRM, we have procurement, many other offerings we have, but we don't require all those. Let's go with these options, or else let me stop SCM. SM also we have, but I'll take procurement. Okay, so say that as per client business requirement, okay, we have to implement financials and procurement. Now simply these two we call as, these two are there in the scope of our project. When I talk about scope of the project, just give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm sorry, like, okay, there are some other participants who are trying to join who already paid, so there is no room space here. Just we are discussing on that. Fine, done. Fine. So when you are going to do the implementation, if you are going to, I mean, if you are going to implement financials and procurement, simply those financials and procurement we call as scope of the project, right? So, so these all offerings will be part of our function setup manager, and in each offering we'll have specific options. Now, if you are going to implement only financials and procurement, the first step what we have to do is we have to enable the offerings. The first step is we have to enable offerings. We have to enable the offerings. So just give me 1 second. I have to close this door. Okay. The first step is we have to enable the offerings. Which offerings you are going to implement, those offerings you have to enable. After enabling the offering, when you are enabling the offerings, say for example, I am going to enable the offering called as financials. The moment I enable the offering, what system will do is, system will be asking us under financials offering, which options we require. It will ask us. Okay. So you are going to implement financials. Okay. We are going to implement financials. When we are implementing the financials, say we want to implement only GLAPR. That means under financial offering, you can select GLAPR. Then finally, you will be able to do the relevant configuration for only those three applications. That means the first point anyway, let's take, I'll show you in the system, but we have option. We'll be selecting offering. Under that offering, which modules we require also we can select for our implementation project. Okay, just we'll be enabling the options also. Okay, we'll enable the offerings. Within the offering, what are the options we have, you can select. Okay, after that, so you can create the implementation project. Create implementation project. So when we are creating the implementation project, okay, say for example, we enabled only these two offerings. Okay, and think like within the financials and procurement, what are the modules we have, all we enabled. That means options also we enabled. Now I'm going to create implementation project. My implementation project scope is financials, procurement, and PPM. Now I can create the implementation project by selecting financials and procurement, but PPM won't be available since that is not enabled. I'll give you a simple example for better understanding. So in EBS, before you go and create your primary ledger, you should enable your currency. If currency is not enabled, the currency value won't be available at the time of primary ledger. That is the reason first we'll enable the currency. The enabled currencies will be available at the time of primary ledger creation. You can select and you can create your primary ledger. The same logic here also it works. So you want to create the implementation project by including which offerings, all offerings, and within that offering which options you require, means which modules you require. All you have to enable in the first stage, as a first step. Then you can create the implementation project. When you are creating the implementation project, you can select all those offerings and options. Okay, you will select offerings and options and will create the implementation project. After creating the implementation project, what system will do automatically, it will create task list. Okay, system creates task list. What is the meaning of task list? It's very simple. Let me take simple example. So we are creating the project. Within the project, I selected offering called as financials and option called as AP. Take this simple example. We created implementation project. So along with other offerings and options, say I just for financials I selected AP. So to work on accounts payable application, we have to do certain setups. The setups I'll refer in EBS. We'll talk on that, but how we have in the Fusion anyway we are going to work. For our better understanding, I'll refer EBS. In AP, what basic setups we have to do? We have to set up financial options, payable options, payment terms, distribution sets, right? Bank accounts, payment process profile. Okay, all these setups, tolerances. There are many other setups which need to be done, and there are few setups which are mandatory. In whatever it may be, mandatory or optional, just forget about it. Just we have to do certain setups. So, what are the setups we have to perform for a particular application? The setups. Okay, how we can do the setups in EBS? If you take the navigation, we'll have a specific function. For financial options, we'll be having some function saying that setup options, financial options. The financial options we are calling one of the function name. So through particular function, we can do the setup. Equal to function. Equal to function. In Fusion, we have a task. Here we call as task. So in EBS, menu, submenu. Within the submenus will have a functions. So here when you compare with Fusion, already discussed, menu is equal to job roles, submenu is equal to duty roles, and functions nothing but privileges. Here you can compare with task. Payment terms creation in Fusion we call as, that is one of the task name. Payment terms creation and payables in EBS we call as one of the function name. With that function you can define the payment term. Okay, the same here we are calling as task. Each setup which we do in the EBS, that in Fusion we call as a task. That's how they give in the naming convention. Here we are no more going to call as a functions. So if I select offering as a financials, within that if I select only AP option, AP as one of the option. So to complete AP related configuration, what setups we have to do? All setup system will create as a tasks. The multiple tasks only we are calling as a task list. Okay, so just this is the point we have to understand. If you have any questions on this point, please. On these points, whatever we discussed, function setup means so far what we discussed, you can ask me on this. Anyway, we are going to talk on this more and more now today's session. Any questions on these few points?
So, Laxman, one quick question. When we enable the offerings and when we enable the option, this is just a one-time thing for the instance, is it?
Exactly. It's a one-time activity we do at instance level. That's all.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Any other questions? Now see, in our environment, yeah, one second, yeah, I'll take your question. In our environment, you no need to go and enable any offerings because this is a demo instance. Okay, think all the offerings are already enabled. But why I'm sharing this information, when you are working on the fresh environment, you will be the responsible person to enable, otherwise you cannot create the project. Okay, so that is the reason I'm just giving this point, how the actual things we should focus and all. That's what I'm trying to just include here. That's all. Yeah, please, somebody is asking this question.
So if the offering is not enabled, can it be done subsequently when the project is created?
You cannot. See, when offering is not enabled, when you are creating the project, the offering won't be available to include into your project. Okay, you didn't enable, say, procurement offering, okay, and you enabled only financials. Now you can create project for only financials, and later you may come up with the requirement you want to implement procurement also. Anytime you can go and enable the offering, but you don't find option to include that procurement offering into your existing project. Okay, existing project, you have to create the separate project. No need to worry if you are going to create the separate project. The purpose of the project is just to manage the your configuration related activities and to track the status of progress, the system business point of view, and the other logic. There won't be any issue. It's just for to manage our setups and to progress the setups only. Apart from that, there is no use of the project definition in the Fusion application.
So what about the option then?
See, if you are enabling the offering, okay, that means you are enabling offering to select options only. When you say you are enabling offering, we should remember we are going to enable options only. I'll enable financial offering if I'm not going to enable which modules I need, what is the use of offering, no use. To enable options only, we are enabling offering, that's all.
So let's, for example, I'm saying, let's say you have enabled the financials offering and you did not enable, let's say, AP.
You can enable
after you've created the project.
You can enable later. You can enable a later point of time, but the complete AP related options you cannot include into your project. There is an option to include through tasks only. I'll show you that. You raise this point when we create the project. I'll explain you. I can explain now, but you may not catch it, or it may be there will be some gap between your understanding and what I try. Okay, let's do at the time of project creation time. This. Yeah, please.
When we start our implementation, so what will be the first step? First we create the implementation project, or first
no. First we have to enable the offering. We need offerings into project. We have to enable the offering. So enabled offerings only will be available for project creation. Say by default you have 20 offerings from Oracle. Say financial, procurement, PPM, CRM, okay, and HCM, and there are many other offerings, and FH, financial accounting hub, and there are many other offerings. So all you can see in the instance, but which offerings you require, okay, those you can enable. Say you are going to enable 2 only. Now when you are creating the project, other than these 2 you cannot create the project in the system environment, because those are offerings you have but you don't want to use. That is the reason you didn't enable. So first we'll enable. By selecting the same enabled offerings, we'll create the project. That's how it works. Any questions? Any questions on this, please? I don't hear. I think somebody is trying to speak. I request you to just increase the volume from your machine, I guess. I think you have to increase. I don't hear anything. I can hear somebody speaking, but not what is that. Anybody is trying to speak? No, not proper. I think you get there. Just try to increase the volume from your machine. Okay, I can hear others fine, but I don't hear when you speak.
Clear now?
Yeah, now it's clear. Please.
Yeah, my question is here. Unfortunately, I selected the offerings, but are you able to disable?
You can disable. You no need to disable. Not required. You just enable. That's not a mistake. Okay, we should not do the mistake when you are creating the project. say by mistake you enabled all offerings. Okay, and when you are creating the project, you need two only. Select two only. Ignore remaining all. Those will be available. So in our EBS environment, you enable 10 currencies, but you need one currency only, two currencies only you'll use in the business. No issues. Those will be available if you want. Or else by mistake, you created implementation project by selecting 3 offerings where you need only 2. See, always my request is after question, please, you have to mute. Please. This is a request all the time. Okay, I'll be answering. Meantime, you can put cross question or you can ask me after my explanation. This is how let's do it, please, because we are recording the sessions. Not only just because we are recording, it's all about just we have all the guys. We have to respect from their end. There is no noise and all. We should not create from our side. Okay, so you enabled all the offerings, no issues. When you are creating the project, you select which offerings you require, then that would be fine. Or else you enabled all offerings. Say that is mistake, by mistake you enable, or just for testing you enabled. Later when you are creating the project, you need only 2 offerings, but by mistake you selected 3 offerings into your project you created. Even still there won't be an issue. You created 3, you selected 3 offerings into your project, but you require only 2, but ignore one, third one. So you don't touch it when you are implementing. You will be using only first 2 to do your implementation. Third one, just it will be there, but no use. That's how it works. So it's not going to impact somewhere somehow. Okay, this is the point we want to understand.
Yeah, one more question here. I enabled the financials and I enabled all the APGL. So later, after implementation, I am planning to implement the expenses. Okay. So shall I add that option into the later?
So particular option, if you want, particular option, if you want to do that, you can go and enable at offerings level. Under offerings options, you enable.
No. Here I already selected as an offering financial is there, and my option GL is also there. The one of the task is it is in the expenses, that is I expenses, that I planning to implement in the later or the 3-4 months. Now I was not enabled. So later after implementation,
anytime you can. I got your point. Anytime you can enable. And but complete offering you cannot select into existing project. The complete each option. Okay, each option means each module you are referring a expense, right? So I expense will have some set of tasks to complete the configuration. Those you can through manual process you can add all the tasks, setup related tasks you can add into your project. That's how you can do. There is no just automation to add some additional options or offerings to existing project. I'll show you this point also. I'll just give you that. Somebody, I think Arun was asking the similar question earlier. Okay, I'll show you that. But the answer for now is, not like it's the exact answer is, you cannot include one more offering or one more option into existing project. That is possible through a manual process where the offering means multiple application related setups you can add through manual process. Or else say you forgot, you don't have a FA which is included in your current project. You want to implement FA now. In that case, you can go and enable. Anytime you can enable, that will be available to create the new project. But if you want to take that option into existing project, to implement FA, think there are 20 setups are there. 20 setups here we call as 20 tasks. Multiple tasks only we are calling as task list. Now say for FA we have 20 task list. We have a task list with the 20 tasks that you can include into your project through manual process. Will be searching for the task, will be including, adding. This process you can follow. There is no simple automation where you can just enable and you can mark, it will take into that project. That's how it works.
Yeah, if that is the case, if the project is planning for the phase 1 and the phase 2, so phase 1 for all the options and the phase 2 like I procurement and I payables and I receivables kind of thing in the phase 2. So then how we can plan for that?
You can create simple 2 different projects. See, simple point here we have to understand when you say project, just to monitor your progress of the activities which you are doing as a part of the project. In the phase 1, when you say phase 1, what activities you are going to do, you create as one project. In phase 2, create one more project and what modules you are going to implement, what you are going to do, that you can monitor with the phase 2. For that you create separate project, but internally everything will get connected and it will store database. It will have a actual relation, how the relation will be established across the setups when you do in EBS. Just this is just we are creating some framework as a project to know and to understand what is the status of the project. Apart from that, there is no functional impact, because you are going to have the project, different projects. This is what we have to understand. See, you have a 10 offerings. You have a 10 offerings you are going to implement. You will create one project for 10 offerings. But I have 10 offerings. I'm going to create 10 projects. Ultimately, for each offering, you have to do the setups. I have to do the setups. You will be doing 10 offering setups from one project. I'll be doing the setups for 10 offerings from 10 different projects. The end of the day, the result is same. That's it. Each setup will be stored in the database. That's all. Why I'm doing the 10 projects? My requirement is what is the exact progress of only financials. Say I can see 50% financial related configurations completed, or else 20% not yet started, 30% in progress, I can track. But if I create the project by including the 10 offerings, finance, procurement, PPM, CRM, HCM, I can see the progress. Okay, I can see the progress overall the project. I cannot see offering wise. So in that case, I may do in that. If large scale projects, implementations and all, definitely you may go with the offering wise project creation, or else still you can go with the all offerings you can include and you can create the single project. Just the project concept here in the Fusion is to track the status. The rest will remain the same as EBS. Just this is the additional framework Oracle given, where you can specify who is the project manager, which task who is going to handle, all the information you can see. Maybe maybe once we get into this session, there will be, you'll see very good information which will answer to many of your questions, or it will give more understanding and clarity if you are thinking on these more and more, or if you are expecting something to understand and to see the proof. Okay, anyway, just these are the points you have to understand. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay, well, when you are working on that, I'll give you a few more details and you can get more clarity. You can ask a few more questions if you have. So for now, these are the simple points. Okay, in functional setup manager, these financials, procurement, PPM, CRM we call as offerings. Under each offerings, what are the modules we have, those we call as options. Okay, under each options, okay, if you take payables as option, within the payables, what are the setups we do, those we call as the tasks. Okay, those we call as each setup we call as one task. The list of tasks we call as task list. These are equal to functions in EBS. Fine. After enabling, first we have to enable. After that, we'll create the implementation project. Only enabled offerings and options will be available for project creation. There we'll select and we'll create the project, and then system will create the task list. And while you are creating the project, okay, system, the project can be assigned to project manager. We can assign project to project manager. Okay, this activity we can do as a part of project creation. While we are creating the project, there will be option whom you want to assign this project, who is going to monitor this project. With that meaning, we can assign. Once we create the project, or else let me take that point here, it will be actual process. It will be like same as the actual process. Fine. We'll enable the offerings with available offerings. Available offerings means which are enabled, those are available to create the project. So we'll create the implementation project. Same time we can map that project with the project manager. Then automatically system will create the task list. Task list is nothing but setups which need to be performed for specific option, which are part of specific offering. And now you can assign, we can assign specific offering. Offering means, say for example, financials I want to assign to one resource, I can do that. Or if I don't want to assign the entire financials to one consultant, I may assign only specific module, nothing but option. Or I don't want to assign entire payables to one resource, The payables I want to assign to 2 resources. In that case, those we call as tasks. 2 team members. Okay, this is how it works. System will create the task list, and we can assign the entire offering, one or multiple offerings, to one resource, or else one within an offering specific option, maybe payables or only receivables, we can assign to resource. If not entire option, specific task we can assign to team members. We can do that. Once team member will start working on the project, once consultants will start working on the project, they can update the status. Okay, they can update the status of their work. Say we assigned payables option to one of the consultant, one of the resource who are working in the project. Say the consultant started working on the payables. The resource completed task called as financial options under payables options. Now the resource can go and update the status as financial options completed, payable options completed. This is how they can update the status. Okay, when you look at that, easily we can understand out of entire project, okay, 2 tasks are completed. That information also we can see. That is in overall the project, how much percentage. Also you can see the graphical representation, pie chart. Okay, all these kind of presentations, reporting capabilities we have within the function setup manager when we are working. We'll see that. We'll be creating our own project. We'll be just assigning the offerings options tasks to the team members, and will be marking updating the status. When you do all this, you can see how it works. Okay, they can update the status of the work. That enables us to track the status. Based on that, okay, the project manager automatically tracking will takes place. Okay, we can track the status of the project. That's it. So they'll update the status of the work, means they'll start with the configuration. Okay, so once we assign some task to the consultant, say we may assign payables to implement, then what they'll do, the consultant will start configuring. Or else before configuration, okay, I mean, once here whatever we discuss, this is what we assign. Then once they start working on that, say the consultant will start configuring, they'll start doing the configuration. When they start doing the configuration, which setups they completed, that they can update as a status. That status will be useful for us for tracking purpose. Okay, if you have any questions on these few points, you can ask me. Any questions?
Laxman, the tasks should be marked as complete,
not mandatory
for all the tasks that is there in option,
not mandatory,
so that the option gets updated.
It's not mandatory how to track the status. If you track the status, system will take that updates, and it will trace, and it will give the results. Nothing is mandatory. If you process Oracle given where you can assign that offering or option or particular task to team members. But when you are creating the project, it is a mandatory project need to be mapped with the project manager or someone else who is going to take care of it. The rest of assigning the offerings, options, tasks to team members, not mandatory. Updating the status for the work what they are doing is not mandatory. When these two are not happening, okay, anyway, this won't happen. We cannot track the status of the project.
No, I mean, I understand it's not mandatory, but what I'm saying is that, for instance, if all the tasks for that particular option, if it is completed, the status of the option gets updated automatically, or it has to be again manually updated?
Manually we have to update. The reason also I'll tell you why Oracle is not giving that provision is not there. Say I have a task called as payment terms. Say I created one payment term. How system can understand how many payment terms we require? It cannot understand. So I may create 10, later I may create 10 more or 20 more. Okay, that is the reason. So that has to be decided by consultant, the user who is working on the system, the team member, they have to decide. That is the reason there is no auto update. Of course, as you ask the question, we can refer with something, financial options. If I complete a financial, that is one time setup. In that case, basically system can auto update as a completed. but Oracle is they didn't develop the solution in that way. So whatever you do, you have to go and update, or else I may set up the financial options, but temporary purpose I may put some information, but my thought may be okay, after some time I'll go and correct it. I didn't select the proper accounts payables account and prepayment account, etc. Just I completed to go ahead with other setups, otherwise system won't accept. Uh, with that plan, I may just enter. In that case, if system is going to say complete, it is reality it's not to complete, it's completed, but in my point of it's a draft mode completion, because still there is some updates need to be done within that. I didn't provide proper information. So because these sort of things will come across, that is the reason what are the setups we do manually, we have to go and update. There is no auto update process in the system based on what we are doing. System cannot update it. Fine. Any other questions? Okay, fine. Seems to no question. So this is what we have to understand.
Laxman?
Please.
So assume that we created one task, and if some of
Please. We don't create the task. Tasks are predefined. You are referring as you did some setup by using the task. You are referring that?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. After assigning that to the one of the team member, assume that he could not assign the task. Is there any provision for the manager to send the escalation or a notification?
I'm really sorry, I didn't understand. We have one task. Can you repeat?
Yeah, the task is assigned to a team member as a part of the project.
Say payable options you assign to one team member.
Okay.
Yeah, please. You can go on.
And then, I mean, while tracking, the manager see that that particular task is not performed. So, will the manager have the facility to send an escalation or a notification to the corresponding team member?
Oh, no. Up to that level, we don't have. So that is outside of the system we have to do. So I'm requesting every time when after question, it's a mandatory, we have to mute. Okay. Yeah, please go on. See, answer is no. Answer is no. The manager has to see and they have to contact.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions?
Laxman?
Yeah, you can ask me the question, please. You no need to introduce and you no need to just refer my name. Right here,
No,
please.
I was not sure whether you are hearing me or not. Sorry.
Please.
The question is like enabling the options or offerings. Is it something to do with the licensing? Like, will I be allowed to enable only for the products?
It's a good question. It's good question. I'll answer to this. Okay, good question. So when we get the instance access, we are not taking the license in the Fusion. That is the first point. We take subscription. So from Oracle side, since this environment we get from Oracle, they will have complete control. Even if you take the license subscription for financials and procurement, still Oracle will allow you to access in the sense they will allow you to see, they will allow you to see other offerings also. One way it works in that way. Other option is Oracle can restrict to see only these two offerings. Say you are taking the subscription for only these two. In that case, Oracle can allow you for all, or else they can restrict to access only these two. If you have access only these two, you can do the setups only for these two offerings and you can start working on the relevant processes. But if Oracle is going to give the option to access all these, you can access, you can do the setups, but you cannot use. That's how they'll set a control. But normally in general cases, if you take subscription for one or two offering, by default, you'll be able to access all the offerings. By using those offerings, you can do the setups. But it comes to usage, using that setup related process based on the setups. If you start working on the system, it won't work. What Oracle will do is, to work on payables, you require payable specific roles. Payables related setups you can do from functional setup manager by creating the project. You can complete all the setups. But if you want to work on the payables, we require the roles called as payables manager. For those roles, Oracle won't give access. They will restrict at that point of time that level of granular security they are maintaining in the Fusion application, since this is a cloud offering. That's how it works. You cannot have that specific application related data roles access. So that's how they'll have a security, that's how they'll control. Fine, any questions?
But you do not need data role access, right, to do the setups.
I'm saying that I'm talking about the point, you can do the setups. You can do the setups for any offering. What is the use of setups? Ultimately,
right,
you want
I'm
to
just saying
work. No, the same I explained. I am saying that I explained that point only. I said you can do any application setups, but you won't find any access to data roles. If you don't have any access to data roles, what is the use of your setups? Okay, that is the point here. Fine, any questions?
Can we set it up as a target date for option or task in the?
Sorry. Can we
set it up as a target date for any option or task?
Yes, exactly. You can set due date. Just for information, whether tasks are complete, where team is able to complete within the time or not. To track that information, yes, we can set due date for whatever task we are assigning to team members. That is possible. I'll show you that. Any other questions?
Can it track percentage completion by task?
Task percentage, it's the same example I'll take. Payment terms. I created one payment term, and what based on what measurement system has to understand percentage of task completion? No, impossible.
Not the system, but I'm saying it's manually you can update, right? So in the manual update, you get a chance to percentage.
Listen. That option is not there. That option is not available. System will trace how many tasks we have in the project. Say 2000 tasks. 1000 tasks are completed. Directly it will take 50% is completed. There is no parameter which you can pass 5%, 2%, 1%. Generally that is not required. That's the reason we don't have that option. Okay, somewhere may be required, but we don't have option. That is the conclusion. Any other questions?
So what are the different statuses that you can choose?
We'll see when we are working. We'll see. Now, okay. I don't want to take you into all those details. Okay, we'll be creating and we'll be tracking the status at that time. I'll show you all. Any other questions? Any other questions, please?
Laxman?
Please.
See, you don't have auto updates. You don't have automatic notifications. User need to update it. So what's actually we are trying to achieve here?
Good question. When you are just managing, see, if I don't have this facility in the system, as a project manager, I'll be maintaining all this information in the outside of the system. I may use just simple spreadsheet. So you no need to just assume like you are going to use project accounting or something else. That it's a different process to track your cost and all. You don't compare this implementation project creation with our Oracle project accounting solution or some other project management solutions. Don't compare with that. Is totally different. This is again simple. So just instead of maintaining this information outside of the system, just you are going to maintain the same information within the system where you can have live update. The update system will take automatically, which will be tracking the percentage of work completion based on the user update. User completed 10 tasks. The user intentionally they have to update the status. Yes, I have completed. That means the user is trying to report to the project or project manager saying that my task is completed. That can be tracked and viewed by any person who is in the project within the permissions whatever the manager will give. That is information just for tracking purpose. There is no great advantage behind it. Oracle designed the solution. Whatever the setups you do, you should do through your project only. You may track, may not track the status. Okay, so that's how it works. Okay, as you have this concern is it may not give great benefit out of this project process and all, but instead of managing everything outside the system also they given the facility to manage that will allow you to update the status and to track the status. That's how it works. That's all. Any other questions? Okay, just it's all about to monitor the project and to track the status of the project without having too many controls. The controlling and all we cannot do here much as generally we do in the projects. Okay, but think again, it's our project, it's not our client project, it's not something your cost related project, means as per project which you call as indirect project, or it's not a customer related project, contract project, it's not a something you are building some asset, it's not a some capital project and etc. You don't compare this project with that. It's just simple how we are what activities we are doing to complete our project. Those just we are going to manage and to track, and we are going to look into that. That's all. Okay, seems to no questions. Okay, I'll just jump into the next topic. So rapid implementation. Any idea what is the meaning of rapid? Anybody come across, anybody worked on the rapid implementation solution which is offered by Oracle?
You can implement, configure it through the Excel upload.
Okay, that's one definition. Any other definitions? So rapid implementation. What do you mean by rapid implementation?
Some setup related implementation, setup related and the data related information. We have to extract the template and upload the data into the application.
Okay. Yes. Any other definitions? Okay.
It's to configure the system very quickly.
Yep. Great. Okay. Fine. Yeah, good. All same. So before we get into this actual rapid implementation, what exactly how we have in the Fusion, just let's talk about the solution what generally Oracle offers, not only in the Fusion, in EBS also. Okay, there are some tools Oracle has. What the tools will do is, the tools will help us, okay, to do the entire instance configuration through automation process. Okay, that is basically we call as rapid implementation. So we have a tools called as accelerator tools from Oracle. What Oracle do is they'll build those tools country and industry specific. Okay, so the tools Oracle will provide you might have come across. I'm not sure anybody worked on this kind of practices. A few companies use this practice to do the implementation, if that is going to be somewhat vanilla implementation for that their client, and if they are doing the implementation for their client, they have to make sure that the specific solution, the rapid implementation solution, is available from Oracle. The solution is not available from Oracle for all industries and all the countries. Say for example, your client is into pharma. You are in India, your client is from India, and client nature of business is pharmaceutical business. So if they want to go with this Oracle apps implementation, if you want to use the rapid implementation practice, which is ready-made solutions available from Oracle, just you have to contact them. You have to check. I have a customer from India. Their business is they're into pharma. Do you have any sort of rapid implementation solution? If the solution, okay, the predefined solution is available, what we can do is a simple process. Oracle will provide some tool. The tool will target with a fresh instance. Just you have to run the tool. You have to put all the input data into the tool only. You no need to go and do the setups in the system. All the setup data you will provide in the tool. You will run the tool. Hardly it will take 3 to 4 days time. All the setups will be completed, and which setups cannot be completed through that rapid implementation tool, those setups will do as a post implementation setups. And if any additional requirements client has, those you can do as a manual setups. So all the fundamental setups you can do automatically by inputting all the setup related data in the rapid implementation tool. That is the actual meaning of rapid implementation. But the same term Oracle is using in Fusion applications also, but it's not a complete solution. So when we refer our Fusion application with the term called as rapid implementation, it's not completely rapid implementation. It's the practice which they've taken from rapid implementation solution for specific areas. Say you want to create your primary ledger in our system. In that case, in Fusion, what Oracle is doing is Oracle is providing one template. You can fill the template. Okay, you can fill the template by saying with which name you want to create your primary ledger and what is the calendar name you require, and how many segments you want to have a chart of accounts. Okay, how many flexible qualifiers you have and which flexible qualifier you have to assign to which segment. The naming convention slightly changed in the Fusion that we'll discuss when you get into that, but in the generic, by referring R2 only, I'm explaining this point. And how many legal entities we have, you can create how many operating units we have, but here the naming convention operating is business unit. Okay, this and all you can provide in the spreadsheet. Okay, and that simply you can load into the system, then automatically system will create that specific definitions based on the inputs you provided through spreadsheet. That only here we are calling as rapid implementation. That is not a complete solution. That's how for specific configurations only the rapid implementation solution is available from Oracle. So the simple process we can say, through rapid implementation approach, we can load the data through spreadsheets. By using the spreadsheets, you can input the data into spreadsheet. Those spreadsheets you can load into the system. Based on the information what we have in the spreadsheet, system will get configured automatically, but the solution is not available for a complete scope of configuration. So very specific. And other than this Fusion, in EBS there are some solutions from Oracle. That is the actual rapid implementation, which we call, where all setups can be configured by the rapid implementation tools what Oracle offers, country and industry specific. So here when I talk about rapid implementation, you can load your complete more or less complete enterprise related information. Okay, and you can load other some setup related information to the system instead of going and taking the navigation and clicking on some tab or selecting the value from LOV, etc., and just moving moving across the different forms to complete the simple setups. That may be time taking process for the consultant to do all the setups. So that is the reason you can put all the setups in one spreadsheet, specific given spreadsheet, and you can load. And the same setups you require in other environment also you already have in the spreadsheet, you can load in other spreadsheet. And other point here is what are the setups we have in one instance, those you can export into spreadsheets, those same you can import into other spreadsheets also. This all comes under this kind of rapid implementation approach. Okay, this is a simple point to discuss now when we will come across when you're working on the instance. If you have any questions on this, please. No need to get into this point now, we'll see. But anyway, if you have any questions, please.
Laxman, this spreadsheet is available within the instance, or
yes,
we need to just go with the,
yeah, I got your question. Let me answer. So when you talk about these spreadsheets, any spreadsheet, okay, few spreadsheets are available within the instance, very few. The naming convention will discuss. We have AD, FD and FBDI. We'll discuss those detail level. Now it's not required. So few templates spreadsheets are available in instance. Most of the spreadsheets you have to download from Oracle website. Okay, OER, Oracle Enterprise Repository. Okay, from Oracle website we have to download. I'll show you that. I'll take you through in the classes. Or the link also I'll provide how to download. We will download and we'll be working on the live process. Okay, few spreadsheets directly you can download from system instance, and most of the spreadsheets you have to download from the live website, from Oracle live website. The repository we call as Oracle Enterprise Repository, OER. From that repository all the spreadsheets are available, predefined spreadsheets. You no need to prepare anything. Okay, all are predefined with full validation. Any questions?
Is there a clear guideline where it says that what are the setups in any options that can be done through rapid implementation and those which cannot be done through rapid implementation?
Yes. I'll show you how to find it once we get into that. And when we are working on the rapid implementation approach of loading the spreadsheet automatically, I'll show you how to. You can go and check it directly. That's all. Okay, and yeah, there are some when you go to OCR also, there also you can see that for what configuration or what data the spreadsheets are available, that also you can see. Yeah, we have a good information related to that. We'll go through it.
And they have the sample data?
Sample data also we have, like whenever you download that spreadsheet there will be sample data. Any other questions? Again, sample data is not applicable for everything. Wherever really some sample data we should have to refer there only. If some spreadsheet talks very detailed level information, somebody unmuted, I can hear myself. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so where really sample data is required, there Oracle given, but not everywhere where it's unnecessary information. Okay, that's it. Any other questions?
Laxman, if we loaded something and then we realize that something went wrong, is there any facility to do the update also through the sheet by sending the same data inside, like the data loader?
So data loader, yes, we have that option in the spreadsheets. They are giving one option as a create, the second option is update, but that is applicable only for few set of data loads only, but not for everything. Not for everything. That option available for so a specific category of the data only. Okay. So simple example I'll take. I created a primary ledger. Manually I created. Is there any option I can go and update through manually primary ledger name? Or say I created calendar. Can I change the calendar name? No. Which are not possible through manual process. The same not possible through spreadsheet process also. Which are possible in the manual process. When you do something through manual process, if the field is updatable, that sort of data you can update through spreadsheet. That is a simple logic. Okay, in the manual process what you can do, the same you can do in the spreadsheet process, auto upload also. Any questions?
Hi. Rapid implementation is is suggestible to do in a rapid kind of activities to implement the project.
See that we don't have very good scope to do the rapid implementation. Okay, so very limited setups only we can use this rapid implementation, and primarily this rapid implementation approach we can use in the process of data conversion that we are going to discuss. Okay, we can use it whatever Oracle given, but certain components, certain rapid implementation spreadsheet doesn't work. It will disturb your process what you are doing also. That also just will talk on that. But most of the spreadsheets what they are giving as a future, those we can use. It a final answer is yes. Rapid implementation approach is suggestible as they given the name as rapid implementation. Reality, it's not going to be that much. It's a rapid implementation approach. It will reduce little bit time, not more than that. So actual rapid implementation means that is there as a separate solution from Oracle, but the same solution they tagged in our Fusion also by giving few facilities. That's all. That's what my experience. I can hear enough noise from someone. Any other question? Fine. Okay. Anyway, just will be just working on this rapid approach. Okay. The simple point here is through spreadsheets we can load the data into system. Through spreadsheet you can input the data in the spreadsheet that you can load into system. What type of data, what category of the data we can load? That can be configuration related data or transaction related data also. Okay, these and all we can do. All the templates are predefined by Oracle. The ready-made templates you can use. You don't need to just create a template as you want, not required. Okay, that's it. And the next concept. Okay, the next concept here is topic is, because now anyway we are not going to work, I mean we'll be working on this, the complete I'll be showing that the process, and even we'll be executing and we'll be working on this, how the conversion we'll be doing. We'll do the supplier conversion, vendor master conversion we'll do in our classes. We'll do the open invoices for payables we'll do customer conversion we'll do, and we'll be working on auto invoice conversion. I'll show you complete in and out process with results, and assets conversion I'll be showing. This and all, whatever the conversions we do when we are working, all those conversions I will be doing in the classes. It's not like I'm going to give the overview. I'm going to show you in and out process with result. Okay, that's how we'll do. Anyway, everything I mentioned the course content, you may go through course content once again if required, but here I mentioned this point because it makes big difference. Okay, when you compare with EBS, that is the reason this stage itself I want to discuss with you guys, so I mentioned here as a one of the topic for today's session. Okay, let's talk about data conversion. So we know very well what approach, what process we follow, okay, for a data conversion in EBS. Okay, in EBS what we do? EBS, when you talk about data conversion, the practice or the process what we follow is we create data templates, right? We create data templates, sorry. We create data templates by referring, I mean, first we'll study the client, definitely the client non-Oracle system from which environment we are going to extract the data with the help of business users. Okay, we'll study and anyway we'll be knowing our Oracle database structure by referring, by considering these two structures. We'll do the mapping and finally we'll create the templates. So these templates will share with the technical team. All right. Okay, we'll create the templates and we'll get the templates, data templates from the business users. Just we'll create template, we'll give the business users, they'll fill the data and they'll be giving back to us. Now these templates will be sharing with the technical resource. What technical resource has to do is they have to just convert. Okay, they have to convert into some flat files or say CSV file format. After that they'll be creating the staging tables, right? Okay, I'm not writing everything, just we are discussing, so each and every point I'm not writing. So we'll create the data templates and we'll give it to the business users. Business users will fill the respective data and they'll give back to us, they'll be giving us, and that will be converting into that technical resource. I mean technical consultants will just look into the templates and they'll convert into CSV or other file formats which will be supported in their process, whatever the conversion programming they are going to do. And they'll create the staging tables, they'll write a lot of the coding, right? By writing the coding or say programming, they will extract the data from the CSV files, they'll be populating the data into staging table. After that, they'll be they'll do write many validations through programming only. They'll do a lot of validation. They'll write a lot of validations. They'll validate the data. After validating the data, they'll populate the data in the interface tables. After this, everything happens. It's extracting the data from the respective file format and populating the data in the staging tables and validating the data which is there in the staging table and populating the data in the interface. This all will happen through deep programming. Okay, there are too much coding. We know programming should be done by technical resource when we are working on the EBS implementations. Okay, they'll be populating an interface, and as a functional consultant we may import into respective module. So finally the data which is there in the interface table, that will import into base table. That anyone can do. Simple job we have to run, right? A simple request program we have to run. Import into base tables. That means to do the data conversions in EBS, it's a mandatory this process we have to follow. So here key activities throughout the data conversion is this. So extracting the data from the respective file format and populating into staging tables and writing many validations through programming, and finally populating the data interface. This everything should happen with the help of technical resource. But now in the Fusion, we don't need to do all those things. We don't require technical resource. No programming, no piece of code you have to write to just complete the process of data conversion. What is the approach we follow here? It's a very simple approach. So what we have to do is, this is just I'm referring EBS. It can be 11i or R12. This is only the process. This is only the option we have. But in the Fusion, data conversion in Fusion, it's a very simple process. Here we are creating the templates, but in Fusion case, just you'll go and download the template. Okay, there will be one URL for OER, Oracle Enterprise Repository. From OER, the website, Oracle website. Okay, from the repository, Enterprise Repository, will download the templates. After downloading the templates, what we'll do, we'll be sharing with the business user. Before that, we may have a round of discussion with the users to explain what is which field refers their current system, column information, etc. That we'll discuss. Then what they'll do, they'll provide the data. After providing the data, just simply within the template itself, we'll have option to convert into CSV file format. So we'll convert. So with one click, we can do that. Convert the template. Template is nothing but say I'm calling as file. Convert file into CSV format. So whatever the template we are downloading, we'll just download and we'll explain to the business users, and they'll provide the data. Once you get the template with the data, you can with a single click we can convert the file into CSV format. Once you convert, automatically system will create the zip file. Within the zip file, it will take CSV file formats. That we'll see in the system, but let's try to understand the process. Very detailed level, anyway, we'll go through when we are working on it. We'll download the templates, we'll collect the data from the business users, and the same file will convert into CSV file format. Okay, after converting, what we have to, it's a very simple process. We have to load this file into UCM. Load file, which file? CSV files, where we have a data. Load file into UCM. UCM stands for Universal Content Management. This is equal, if you compare with EBS, this you can compare with the staging table. Okay, through staging table, first we'll place their validations and all, right. Similar to that in the Fusion, there is an inbuilt solution as a UCM. This UCM can be used for any data imports or exports. Okay, for data imports and exports, generally we use UCM concept. This is how UCM is one of the middleware tool, middleware component. Okay, we'll load the file into UCM. UCM stands for, I think in the previous session we discussed, Universal Content management. Within the Fusion instance, any data imports or exports you are doing, that will happen through UCM only. We'll load the file into UCM. That means the data is there in the UCM. Now we'll populate the data into interface tables. Then we'll import the data into base tables. How to do all those? By just submitting one request. Okay, we'll download. Directly we'll go to the website and we'll download from there. After filling the data into spreadsheet, there will be just simple tab called as convert into CSV. Once you click, it will create the CSV file. The file will get converted to CSV, and it will automatically system will create GIF file. All the CSV file system automatically will take into GIF file, and we have to load the file into UCM. Which file? The GIF file we have to load, because within the GIF file only system will take CSV files. So the GIF file we have to load into UCM, Universal Content Management. Once file is there in the UCM, the data which is there in those files, those we have to populate into interface tables by just simply submitting one request. We'll go to, in EBS what we'll go to SRS window. From there we can submit any request. Similar way in Fusion we can do that, but the naming conventions and all we'll discuss once we get into the system. So we'll populate the data into interface tables by submitting one, say, request, but generally here we call a job. Okay, and once that is done, simply we'll import into the same data, will import into base table. This practice you can follow for master or transactional data. Okay, it can be suppliers or customers or open-end transactions. Okay, so master or transactional data, this approach is applicable, possible. Any questions on this, please? Simple process.
Laxman, so assume that I created a supplier, but while creating the contact, it got failed. Will the system automatically roll back like we do in the coding?
Yeah, what it will do is, when you talk about supplier, for contacts they given separate sheet. That sheet will fail. Okay, say like if you refer EBS header and sites. So you loaded header information, you have to load separately, separate spreadsheet they given. Sites information you have to load separately. Now third step is you are going to load, say, contacts. At the time of contacts, okay, if it is failing, only that record will fail. The rest already loaded. That's how it works.
Then how we know the error and how we correct and reload?
We'll get complete information. I'll show you. I am going to show you the. See, really, I'm requesting once again, when I'm answering, please, you have to mute. Okay, when you are doing that, system will generate the log file and it will generate the reports also, depending on process which you are working. In our classes, I'm going to show you by taking the simple error data into the template, and we'll be loading it through some error message. I'll show you, this is how you'll get. If you get this kind of error, where to go and correct, everything I'm going to cover. I'm not going to show you by putting the right data. When you are working, you may come up with some issues, you may not aware of how to resolve it. So that is the reason what I'll do is, if I'm going to load the supplier's data, I'll put some wrong information. So we'll try to load it, it will end with error. Then how to resolve it, I'll show you. We'll go and correct it, then we'll be loading. That approach I'll be following, what are the data we are going to load, so that will be very clear on this process. I'll show you that.
So Laxman, from step number 3, I mean,
I'm not, see, I can't hear you. Can you be a bit loud?
Okay. My question is that from step number 3, load the file into the UCM till they import the data.
Correct.
How many jobs we need to perform? Only 2 jobs or 3 or individual jobs?
Just one job.
Okay, one job.
Simple. It's a process, very simple. Process is very simple. Just one. Yep. Any other questions?
In
I
EBS,
have
we
one more
have
question. Sorry.
Yeah, please. Ramesh, you can go ahead, I think.
Okay. Can we have any validation process after importing the data into the base table?
No, we don't have that option. All the validations Oracle written. It should work accordingly. Because for complete the respective object database structure, they're taken into spreadsheets. So including that additional information which you capture with the DFFs, that columns also we can find in the templates which we download from OER. Yeah, Namita, you can ask your question, please.
In EBS, we have APIs for all the validations that you do.
Yeah.
Do we do the same in Fusion as well?
No. Now here no APIs and all here to do these processes because this is a cloud, right? In case of on-premise, that kind of approach will be supported, but cloud it won't work. Okay. So interface concept also it won't work same as the EBS how we do the interface in case of on-premise instance. Here the approach and process totally different. I'll take you through that how the process works in Fusion applications. I'll just give you the information. Okay. Here only this data related only through templates only, data templates. Only that option we have.
Can we modify data templates to add additional validations?
It's not like modifying. Also, you should not delete columns which Oracle is giving because they are enabling the macros for each and every just column. So complete spreadsheet what they are giving. The recommendation is you should not change anything. There is no option where you can go and write the validations. You should use as is because total validations just Oracle is just writing over there. There is no option to write our own validations.
Laxman, assume that in legacy there is a ledger name called XYG and I want to have it as ABC in my new system. So you are saying that we cannot do that mapping.
You can do that when you want to get into your system as XYZ as ABC. In the template enter as ABC. That's normal thing what we do.
Okay.
We never do direct conversion right from other system to you are not muted. You see, directly we are not going to plug our EBS with that system to load right in. Generally conversion means we'll extract. The extract process will take the decision how the naming convention should be, how we have to present to EBS or Fusion system. You will take the finalized the naming conventions only will be using. Forget about how the naming convention was there in the non-Oracle system or legacy systems. How you need put that name in that spreadsheets, the same system will take. Any other questions? Any other questions, please? Okay, seems no questions. A small message from my side to pass you guys. So today also we allowed the guys who didn't pay, okay, from whom we didn't receive the payment, but from tomorrow for sure we are not going to just give you option to join these classes because the guys who paid they are not able to join today's session. That's a very bad news to us. So that's the reason from tomorrow onwards just will be allowing the guys who are going to pay by today. Okay, just you can make a note if you are going to continue, otherwise just ignore this message. Fine. So we'll catch you, we'll catch tomorrow same time. Okay, we'll just tomorrow session what I'm going to do is we'll start with the system. In tomorrow session I'll show you how to start with the system. Before we start with the system, what are the few points we have to understand. We'll start with the system from tomorrow. I don't want to give you the information what exactly we are going to do tomorrow. I'll show you in the tomorrow itself as what agenda would be for tomorrow session. Any questions on today's session or previous two classes you can ask me, or else related to this course if you have any questions you can ask me. Any clarity you need regarding this course or anything you can ask me now.
Lakshman, this is not regarding the course actually. What I just wanted to ask you, what's the current traction with regards to Oracle Cloud in India? Are there any implementations? How many implementations are really going on in Oracle Cloud?
Fine.
On an average in India.
I got your question. So majorly you can see the implementations for cloud in the Middle East countries and US and UK. But when you talk about India, so this solution is not yet available for Indian clients since localization issue. Okay, but there are many projects are happening from India. I am not saying in India, from India, where the outsourcing through outsourcing process. Okay, from many other countries like US, UK. Uh, India. In India, the consulting companies are getting the projects where they are providing offshore implementation support or production support. That sort of projects you can see, but wherever taxation is involved, there we cannot use this solution as of now from Oracle. So for that area, it's not available where you don't tax related calculations not required. Tax solution is no need to implement. In those areas, yes, even Indian clients can use this Fusion application. But I can
What
see,
about
I
in
can see,
US? Do you know
yeah, please.
on an average how many projects are there over to cloud?
See that we cannot. Frankly speaking, you or me, we are not right people to just analyze that. But I can see that good positions, which I can hear from the guys who are attending the classes in my previous classes, who are in keep in touch with me. They are saying many openings. There are many openings, so that I can pass to you whatever I heard. But what exact numbers and all, not sure. But they're good. And one more point here to give you the some simple information, which you where we can understand very easily. So almost the upcoming projects, most of the projects the companies are getting. The projects which are on pipeline, most of the projects are on cloud only, Fusion cloud only. Okay, that I can say like. So if anybody is going to implement Oracle applications, definitely most of the clients are going with the cloud, and still few clients are going with the EBS R12 only. The latest versions, whatever available, I think 12 to 6 we have. They are going with that. The reason maybe like they have a huge customization requirements, which is not possible in the cloud. They are going with that. And the other thing is the few clients have some concerns in terms of security. Even Oracle is really doing well in terms of security aspects, where they are taking care of all the responsibility. I mean to say, required metrics to give better experience to their clients. Even they are going to be in the cloud. Still, few, very few. Okay, most of the clients are going with the cloud, Fusion cloud only, and that is the reason Oracle also planning. Oracle also that's the news in the market. Oracle is planning to come up with the next versions as an on-premise version. We are not sure on that. We have to wait and see. But the product remains
What
same.
about
Yeah, please.
what about conversion or upgrade from 12.2.6
No.
to Fusion cloud?
No. As of now, no solution. No upgrade possible from even latest version of EBS to this. Just, they're building the ground where further whatever the latest versions will come from EBS to move to Fusion, because they are coming up with this middleware concept in EBS also. So slowly they are building the environment. They are building the ground which supports to switch from EBS to Fusion also as an upgrade. But for now, there is no solution. It should come, and it will come in future.
So for now, it has to be a fresh new implementation?
Fresh only, yes. There are a few clients which I have seen, they are running their R12 system, and they are interested to move to Fusion. Again, all the setups, they bid as again a new implementation. Whatever the solution they have in EBS, the same they configure, and they just move to Fusion, and the data conversion, etc. Everything is done as a normal implementation process. Very few clients. Which clients are moving from R12 to Fusion who are using already? Again, it has to happen. Implement the clients who started using this EBS solution maybe from last 5 years, 6 years, or 7 years. So they definitely they can plan and move. And the people who just the clients who are very recently, maybe 1 or 2, 3 years back, who implemented this Fusion applications, EBS applications, it's not easy for them to move, because there'll be, whenever an implementation takes place, there'll be huge investment for the company. So they definitely they look for ROI on that. So that is the reasons they may not switch even they are they are interested to go with the fusion. They may switch a bit later. That's how the market we can see now.
Yeah, Lakshman, are we covering in 11 or Oracle is going to release R12 also?
If
12 version also.
12 version they will release. There's no confirmation from Oracle when they are going to release. It may it may out within the 3-4 months. That is the news, but there is no confirmation on that. Now in the market we have only released 11, that which is the very latest. We'll be working on release 11 only.
Okay, one more point. In the content, you are not mentioned that how we can extract the setups data and implement into the production.
No, I mentioned that. I written also in the highlights, the course highlights and all. There I mentioned the point as data uploads and imports and exports. Data imports and exports. There in the bracket I written moving data from one environment to another environment. I think you missed out that point to go through. Please, you can look into that.
Okay,
that is there, and I'm saying now I'll be showing how to do that.
Okay, then another point it is if any custom it is required, how we can create the custom area and how we can install that customization form into the application. That process we need to cover.
Okay, that you can do only in the PaaS environment. PaaS environment is not available for anyone from any source for the classes.
But understanding, yes, PaaS environment is not available, but here understanding how we can do that to custom.
Frankly speaking, I never seen in my experience also. I just I was working and I worked with a couple of projects. Even now also I'm just into project where I do some freelancing work. What are the projects I worked? All are on from this what I can say this SaaS model cloud, and I worked on one on-premise implementation also, which was on release 9 version. So no, in the release 9, just even there was some customization that all taken care by technical resource. I never involved. But since you are asking that information, I'll try to get. If I get, I'll show you in the classes. But I'm not promising. Please make a note.
Okay, then one more point it is here how we can apply for the inbound interface and how we can apply for the outbound interfaces, because that is the major important thing. Now, see, normally if you are
listen. I got your point. I got your point. That will be done by technical people. That happens through middleware. Okay, middleware by using the web services and SOA. I'll just in our classes I'll give you the very high level understanding on that. I'm not going to cover it detail level because that is not our job. That should be done by technical resource. That's all. Okay. Any other questions?
Laxman, which model is mostly on implementation right now? Is it financials or HCM?
HCM and finance. Frankly speaking, HCM.
HCM, okay.
After HCM, finance. But think finance is always finance will be that's because why HCM? Because Oracle released that HCM long back, around 4 years back. So that is the reason, like just it's a well stabilized product. Now the clients who are using very much happy. If something is good, always it goes as a reference. Okay, that's how the Oracle is getting more clients for subscription of HCM. So after HCM, it's finance they focused and released. Now finance also doing very good compared to other procurement SCM PPM. So you see, today finance may not be on top in terms of how this Oracle is getting subscription. Tomorrow, definitely Oracle will be the finance will be the number one. We know in any project, if you look at primarily finance will be implemented. Okay, that's what.
Okay, I'm actually new to this tech. I don't have prior work experience. I want to know, like, if you're covering technical aspects or only the functional aspects in this course.
So functional course only, because in Fusion Cloud there is no much technical work need to be done by technical people also one way, and normally functional people no need to involve some technical works. Just if any customization, if you are going to work on the PaaS environment, you will be writing some functional spec and all that will be giving technical. They'll take care of it. It's a functional course. However, we have functional courses in EBS. Okay. Oracle Financial Functional course in terms of the role you can treat. It's a course for Oracle Fusion Financial Functional Consultants. But if you don't have prior knowledge or experience on Oracle EBS, I don't recommend this course for you. Okay, better you can go with EBS R12 and just at least
I got training on EBS technical financial.
Okay.
I mean, I'm actually planning to learn Fusion also.
Okay.
So,
but see, when you got your point, when you refer EBS, if you say you learned any finance or normally in the general point, we may not refer. When you say technical, it may not be very specific to finance or HCM. Of course, based on some experience or learning, you may say you learn finance technical. Okay, but let it be. But simple point, when you have a plan of working on EBS, yes, you can learn technical stuff. When you want to work on Fusion, okay, majorly on the applications, so best option is only going with the functional modules. And if you want to work on technical side, you just go with the middleware. Okay, you can learn middleware. That's how you can treat you are the technical resource in Fusion. But think that much, those many openings are not available in the market because we don't need to play with the middleware too much for each and every client. So a few cases the clients will be looking for. It's a client is very big. For IDM, they will look for separate consultant, IDM administrator. But normal implementation, we can go and you can create users and you can do required things within the IDM. It's a client is very big. Take example some GE, or take example some Alcoa project, or take some other big clients. In that cases, definitely it's a huge implementations. So there they have to manage too much with the security and all. That is the reason they may look for separate consultant for IDM, or else they may look for to manage their workflows and all. They may look for separate consultant for BPM administrator, and they may look for other consultant on the respective technical area object. What are the object of work they have? But generally, like when you're learning functional, you don't need to focus on that. Only you may focus along with the functional course learning BA reporting. BA is purely technical stuff. If you are expertised on SQL and PL/SQL, you can learn. In our course, I am just going to show you the sample report, how to very basic report, how to navigate, how to create just by writing simple query. That's what I'm going to show. That's a purely technical. You along with this course, somewhere you may go and learn this BI by just spending around 15 to 20 hours. Okay, in that case, you can be treated as a techno-functional also in the Fusion environment, because primarily you'll be working on functional. The other side, majorly in the cloud SaaS model, which most of the clients are using, that is only the best possibility where we can create the custom reports. Then you will be able to do it if you are expertise on BI. The client they may treat you as you are the techno-functional resource in your project. That's it. So if you want to want to become a techno-functional by learning this application, but the best option you can go with middleware, rather than choosing this functional as well as within that some technical other objects. The best part for technical would be middleware, but very rare openings you can see in the market. Very big clients only will go with that modifications.
Laxman, I have a question. Say that currently the people are using SCM model without finance in Oracle Fusion.
So you don't find that cases. So if they are using SCM, okay, you refer to SCM or HCM? I'm sorry, we lost the connection. Really sorry. Yeah. Can you repeat your question? You are referring SCM or HCM?
Oh, and talking about the supply chain,
okay.
Whether currently people in Oracle Fusion they're using one without finance, they're using Oracle SCM separately also.
No, generally you don't see that case. If they are using HCM, how the data flow to
I
next.
want to ask.
No.
Yeah, because I'm into both.
Okay.
I just want to ask in the curiosity because they're using the Oracle Vision CRM, SCM or something,
No.
which not implemented Oracle Finance.
Yeah. Because they have to. When I talk about anything like,
That's
they have to see how the process flows, right? How the process flows.
Yes. That's what I want to clear. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Laxman, I wanted to talk to you for just a few minutes after this call. After this ends, will it be the 888 number that's the correct number to call?
Yeah, you can call on that number.
Okay.
You can call me maybe within 5 minutes. We are going to wind up the session within 5 minutes.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, please. Any other questions?
Yeah, Laxman.
At what time do you think the BA course?
Who is speaking? I'm not sure. I can see two guys are open.
This is Ramesh. Yes.
Ramesh. Yeah, Ramesh, please.
This is Ramesh.
Go ahead.
I would like to know about the BA course. Do you think the BA course should be start after the financial course or the parallel? Both the course should be in parallel.
I know, I don't have information ready for your question.
Okay.
So if at all we are going to start in between or anytime, we'll communicate with you guys. So based on that, if you're interested, you may just subscribe it. Yep.
Laxman?
Please.
You see BI in Fusion, same as in EBS, like if you already done BI reports in EBS?
Same. But only the point is you have to learn how to navigate here, how to just go to that environment. That's only you have to learn, so which is a very simple process. That process, how to go there, where it is BI and all, you may see in our class. That's it. If you have BI expert in EBS, yes, that skill is enough to work on Fusion.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Laxman. See, this is regarding the data conversion.
Yeah.
While downloading as a template from OER, we have to download it as it is the template, or is there any options while downloading? Is there any options like to choose?
No. It's a direct option.
So there is no kind of
there is no mechanism where we can go and specify some. We cannot give some specifications while you are downloading. It's a direct template which you can download.
Okay. It's not a kind of not a ADI custom templates.
No. Even for ADI also, we cannot go ahead with that, our own layouts and all. That's how we have. No.
In ADI, we have the option like.
ADI we have in EBS. ADI we have in EBS, not in Fusion. ADI we have in EBS. Fusion also we have. The ADI only, Fusion we are calling as FBDI. ADFDI. Okay. We'll talk on that detail once we reach that stage. Fine. Any other questions from anyone? But please make sure that you'll be completing the payment formalities by tomorrow if you are interested to continue. Okay, for sure we'll be sending the link only for the guys who are going to complete the payment by today. Okay. Fine. Any other questions? Okay, seems to no questions. Fine, then we can wind up the session for today. See you in the tomorrow session. Have a good day and good night. Thank you all.